And welcome to the 80s. I'm only kidding. Welcome to placing a trade on MT5. This is a Forex stocks predominant smart trade or trading platform which integrates all the brokers and liquidity providers pretty well, pretty fast. So you can trade. There are abilities to trade crypto via CFDs, but we'll touch more on that in a bit. So MT5, so for the vast majority of crypto traders, this is going to be like stepping back in time. You'll be expecting Gordon Gekko to walk through the door at any point sporting an 8-foot cell phone. Jokes aside, this is actually, and unsurprisingly, a serious bit of kit for speed and aggregation. With a few minor adjustments and a little practice, it can quickly become a lethal bit of kit. Let's take a look at the overview and check out the TradingView video as to what I mean by the overview. For speed to enter signals on this platform, it is actually incredibly quick. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason it's not 10 out of 10 because it's not all on one screen like TradingView, but 9 out of 10 because it really couldn't be any quicker. Auto risk calculator is actually a 1 out of 10 if you're not using the add-on. With the add-on, it is around about 8 or 9 out of 10. Again, we will show you about the add-on, the trader system, which will help you with that. Post-trade editing it is actually quite high. You know, it's about 7 or 8 out of 10 because you can adjust the stop losses and the take profits really easily on the screen. But you can't really do too much more than that. Using the trade assistant, you can do quite a bit, but it is a little bit complicated in parts. The open trade tracking is a bit miserable because they just appear down here, and they're pretty basic. You can see them; they're fine. But for that, like 5 or 6 out of 10. And the cost to run is 10 out of 10 because it's free, which is great. Then lastly, the asset availability is 7 out of 10, because it is restricted to, like the Forex, stocks, CFDs, so you can technically trade crypto, but the spreads on them and liquidity is so low, it's almost not even worthwhile. So you're pretty limited in regards to crypto to such things as like BTC, ETH, BNB, and Bitcoin Cash. But you can keep on looking around to different brokerages and see what they've got to offer. But for the most part, around about an 8 out of 10. So let's dive into what you're going to need. So you're obviously going to need MT5. There is an MT4 availability, but I don't know anything about that because I'm predominantly crypto. So I'm just covering this and not terribly in depth either. Brokerage attached, so you can have set up your own brokerage, so not your own brokerage, but you can set up a personal brokerage, or you can go via the funded account route, where you're essentially using their sub account and they give you the login details. Obviously, you're going to need TradingView if you're going to do anything, because that's where all of the import strategy is housed. And then lastly, the trade assistant on MT5, which to be honest is absolutely critical. You 100% need this. There is a small fee attached to it. We'll take a look at that now. So here we go. So this is the one that I'm using at the moment, which is called Trade Assistant MT5. You can find it here. The link is on the website, and we'll throw the link in down below as well. But what this effectively means is it will automatically work out the risk for you and make placing trades so much easier. There is a cool little addition, which we'll look at in a minute, which also helps you see the spreads in real time, which is super important. So let's jump back to MT5 and look at getting all of the pre-setup done, but there is one more thing that we need to touch on as well, which is the funded accounts. So funded accounts are, quite big within the Forex world, and what that means is it will essentially increase the account that you're trading with. So providing you can meet all the criteria, whether it's make 10% over a period of time and not drop below 5% drawdown, then they will give you a allotted amount, which is great, and you can increase your balance you're trading with and trade more like a professional trader instead of YOLOing into trades in order to kind of get your target dollar P&L per month. So yeah, it is worth exploring. This is not financial advice. It's just pretty cool to check out. So first of all, Trade Assistant, let's get this added and on because like I said, this is a non-starter without it. So once you come here and you've enabled it, you've accessed it, you've bought it, I think it's $30 for the year or $100 for life. Either way, it's not exactly oh, there you go. It's not exactly a, kind of bank burner, but it is, like I said, it really is necessary. Considering you're not paying anything for MT5 to use outside of small platform fees, this is, I'd say, a very worthy investment. So once you've got that all added, then in order to actually add it to your chart, it'll appear in your expert advisors down here. You simply slide it over. Now, super important to allow modifications to signal settings and allow algo trading. Hit OK, and there it appears. The next thing to do is to make sure you click Go on algo trading up here. What that means is there's no kind of background algorithms that are going to run. It just means that it allows this automation to run on your chart. If it doesn't, it'll come up with an error screen and it won't allow you to place the trade. Now, in the background, you can see, in my opinion, rather a mess of a chart. So what you can do is you can adjust all of this chart to however you like with the aesthetics of it. So you can remove the grid, you can change the candles. I'm not going to give a full, in-depth guide into MT5 here. I'm sure there's plenty out there that you can spend your own time learning about. But once you've done all that, one thing I do find incredibly helpful is to save the template, because this will save the trade assistant on there, your background and your setup, and it will look a little bit something more like this. So a very nice, fluid, easy to read chart, and this is very important. You can have multiple charts on here as well. So you can click it like that and you can have tons, or you can just stick it to one. If you're only trading one chart at a time, then that's great. But if you're tracking multiple trades, then it might be worthwhile to have multiple trades charts open so you can see them all. But for the most part, we'll just be using this one chart for accessing this trade. So now you have your trade assistant added on. Let's make sure that it is all set up nicely. So you can do the two key things that you need to set up here is make sure that the risk reward is turned on. So that if you're working to a risk reward of 1.5 to 1, then it will automatically adjust your take profit to your stop loss accordingly. So if we turn the lines on here, we'll see that if we adjust the stop loss to, let's say, this swing low, it'll adjust the take profit automatically. The other great thing with this as well is you'll see that it actually shows you what the spread is in real time, which is super important, because if you mark it by here, it won't mark it by at this price, it'll mark it by at this price. So you'll immediately be down. So you have the option of moving it down to a limit order, or you can just put it back to how it was, kind of thing, and you can just go in straight away. So what's pretty cool is, well, is up here is a column that I've added is the spreads. So if you just right click on the, anywhere pretty much on this watch list side here, and you go to columns, you can add the spread. And the spread basically means that how large this gap between the actual price entry to the bid price is going to be. So let's take Bitcoin, for instance, and we'll drag that on here. Oh, we are on Bitcoin, so that's a very small spread. But if we use like Euro USD, where the spread is 0, then we'll literally see that the spread is 0 there. So we could market entry straight into that and be at the price we wanted. Unfortunately, crypto is not as nice for spread on that. So if we look at the spread on BNB, we can see that it's actually quite big. And we'd be 0.24% down straight away. Or sorry, should I do it this way? We'd be 0.24% down straight away. So we definitely want to hedge our bets and probably go in a limit order in order to not be down so much straight away, especially if we are using a limit order, especially if we're using scalping style targets, which are very small anyway. So if this was our target at 0.46% and our entry would be 0.24%, we're losing that, and our risk is actually doubling, and our profit or reward is actually decreasing by half. So this is one of the downsides of using crypto and CFDs with MT5. Unfortunately, as predominant crypto traders, this is where we would naturally migrate to. However, this is built predominantly around Forex. So that's probably where you want to be trading the majority of it. Just going to make your life a lot easier. BTC and ETH, for the most part, the spreads on that are pretty low. But realistically, you'll be trading a lot on the Forex majors and BTC and Ethereum. So that is important. The next one is obviously to look at the risk per trade. So fix this. This will remember it each time. So if you're using 0.25 per trade, it'll adjust the lot automatically for you. You don't really have to do anything else. And obviously, if you increase the stop loss or decrease it, then the lot adjusts accordingly as well. The last thing to change as well is you either use a percentage of your balance, which is your equity down here, or you can set a custom value. So let's just say you don't want to use all of that, you just want to use $1,000 of that. And then you can set that to, whoopsie daisy. Welcome to the 80s. There we go. 1,000. So instead of using 0.25% of 10,000, we're using 0.25% of $1,000. Realistically, there are plenty more options for you to have a look at and understand, and it can do a heap more. But just have a little play with it and see what you can find out. But realistically, as soon as you come on this, you want to hit lines, and it'll basically print on where the trade's going to be. Because this will be the quickest way to place the trade in order to do so. Make sure that your watch list down here on the left is completely aligned with what your watch list on your trading view is doing. You can just simply click on the $ up here, and you can come to the cryptos, and you can add which cryptos you want. You can come down to the raw, which is the raw majors, i.e. Forex majors or Forex minors, and select what you want. It's pretty good to go through these, and I personally add the ones which have got the lowest spreads. It makes the actual trading a lot easier. So if we were to compare this to the trading view watch list, then we've got it right here. So this one is completely replicated with this one just here. So when I get an alert from this chart, then I will see, okay, cool, I'm going to see Aussie dollar versus Canadian dollar, jump on here, and then we've got Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar, and we throw that onto the chart quickly, and we're pretty much ready to roll straight away. If you do want to flip this to a short, just click the R, and that will just flip to a short very quickly. Super easy. So let's run through an actual trade scenario on this setup. So we're on TradingView here, and let's just assume that we do get a signal for Aussie dollar USD, and it's a short. Oh, as it happens, we do actually have a short flagging. So let's get a little bit closer there so we can see what's going on. We have a short that's appeared just here. Let's just assume a short has appeared. So therefore, we will shoot over to MT5, and it's the double check Aussie dollar USD. So we find Aussie dollar to US dollar, and that is now on the chart. Great stuff. Now we just hit the lines, so we have the actual trade set up on there. We know it's a short, so we're going to flip that to short. We have everything set up on here already. Now, since the spread is so low, I'm pretty happy with going in on a market order here. So I know that my stop loss is going to be probably around the swing high or the candle high, depending on which strategy you're using. Either way, if it was the candle high, then I'd be putting it to around about there. If it's the swing high, I'd be putting it to around about there. And then after that, you can do two kinds of entries. You can hit sell, which will be a market entry, or you can hit sell limit. Now the sell limit will set it to wherever the price is set. Here we go. Let's just use Bitcoin as an example. You can see that the spread is quite small, but there is a spread. So if we hit buy limit right now, it would set the buy at this dotted red line price here. And it wouldn't actually, it's placed, but it's not filled yet. So the price would have to head on up here before it gets filled. And equally as well, let's cancel that. If we were to put a buy limit down here, then it wouldn't get filled either, because we'd have to wait until it heads down a little bit further down, and then it gets filled. So these are the downsides of using this. Let's close these. But then inversely as well, if we were to put a buy there and we hit buy, it opens straight away, as you can see. So all in all, it is an incredibly quick process to actually enter a trade. So for instance, we can drag USD CAD here. Let's say we're going to go short. We'll turn the lines on. There is one thing to note, that sometimes it will default to quite a large default price and make the actual risk reward calculator look huge. So a really quick way around this is just to double click on the stop loss, change it to something like 50, and it will bring these down really quickly. So if we're going to take a long just here, we'd set our stop loss to there, and we'll just hit buy, and away we go. And that is really as simple as that. So we now have covered MT5 in all of what you need and how to place a trade super duper fast. It is an incredibly quick platform, to be honest, and once you get a bit smoother with it, you'll be able to scalp and trade extremely fast, just as if you would with crypto. Anyway, good luck.